Welcome to A Wolf Lives Here.
What a douche.
Rough.
Welcome to A Wolf Lives Here.
Sometimes-
I'm John Munger.
I'm Zach Harley. I beat you to it.
And I'm the other Munger named Joe.
I'm Brett Hefner.
I don't know what our tone is. Joe just
Our
threw-
tone is sarcastic, and I don't want to be here.
Ironic is
Oh,
the name
man,
of the episode.
Irony is the worst. It's the hipsters' fuel.
Nah, they're like on post-irony now.
Nah,
So,
man.
I love
yeah.
the way
Contrarian.
Really?
Right.
Post irony is
Contrary
just irony
contrarianism.
further.
Nah.
Like
Post-irony is...
irony is irony about irony. I mean,
Post-irony is being literal and, like, sincere.
no.
But, like, not really meaning it.
Exactly. Irony. It's just irony. Alright, so today we're going to talk about...
Actually, wait, can we, while we're still on irony?
Today we're going to talk about dystopian worlds. Go ahead.
Ironically. No, they handle it really well in Archer. It's a really funny joke in season 5 of Vice. They're like driving and they go to get pulled over and they realize it's not a cop, but like one of the bikers is in the cop car with the cop, and Pam's like, "That's ironic." No, it isn't, Pam. What's ironic is I can't find my gun, and every other store we pass is a gun store. Oh, well then what's satire? Nobody knows. That's my favorite part. Like,
Pam is like the best character
I
Archer,
think I know what satire is.
besides the rest of them.
I think I know.
Yeah, I guess I'll do.
I think we're satire, right? Like, is that what we are? We're satirical? Like, we're a satire of a good podcast?
definitely post satire.
Yeah, definitely.
If we were satire, it wouldn't be a good podcast.
So we are satire.
We're a farce, is what we are.
Oh, man.
I like that.
Can we get into our own metaphor, please?
Oh, man. A wolf lives
So
far.
what did
Well,
you-
we're just
what
kind
did-
of
what
killing
did you
dead
do
space
this
while
week?
you like fill the pitcher up with water.
This
randomly.
week, I didn't really do a whole lot but play Witcher and like go to work and shit, but some cool news came out of Gamescom, obviously. I think we could touch on that a little bit.
Okay,
Gamescom was this week.
Gamescom was this week, son.
FlashCon.
Alright, so
coming up, too.
Xbox had a big event. They showed some pretty cool shit. Tomb Raider, which we've seen a lot of.
I haven't seen that.
So that wasn't like a huge deal, but it was pretty cool what they showed. Next they had Mafia 3
I didn't
announced.
see it, but I
Mafia 1 and 2, never played.
played one. It was, meh.
Yeah, it was okay. I always hear they're okay. This one takes place in New Orleans in the 60s, starring a black guy named Lincoln Clay, who was part of a black mob arm of the like local Sicilian mafia,
Okay.
who gets betrayed by the Sicilian mafia and is like brutally like destroyed, except him. And so he goes on like a kind of like a revenge quest with another group of mafia guys who are also seceding from that group, and
Okay.
like a Haitian gang and an Irish street gang, and they're gonna like
Gangs.
they're gonna mafia shit, they're gonna like light shut people on fire and
Yeah.
stab people in the mouth.
I'm all
Mafia
about
shit.
Right. It looks pretty cool. But like I said, I haven't had like any interest in any of the mafia games, so I'll probably pass on it.
They're good.
But
I mean, they're alright. It's like a
can you say that
slightly
again?
more realistic GTA.
That's the thing everyone was saying,
You
but
sir?
they've been saying that.
But in a, like a very droll way, like you
Yeah.
get fucking traffic tickets, like
Right,
why-
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's so droll. Like, there's no map. Like, when you're on a mission and you're with your car, you literally just turn because your blinker came on. I'm not even kidding.
Like they could step up the realism and make me have diarrhea after I eat terrible food, but why
Right.
the fuck would you do that?
Right.
maybe have
If it's in the game,
Well,
it's
first
in
of
the
all,
game.
eating terrible food in New Orleans would be pretty hard.
It's like
First,
a tautology.
second,
No, okay, you're saying terrible as in like is bad. Terrible that makes you poo. And
that's all
terrible,
over the place here.
It's all it is.
And yeah, it's all over the place.
Yep.
But
Couldn't find
a lot
shits.
of the shit they changed a lot of the shit though, because in 1 and in 2, yeah, like you get parking ticket or like not parking tickets, but like moving violation tickets. You would die if you hit anything going over like 60 miles an hour, like in a car, like you would die. At least that's how it is in 2. A lot of people were saying. Any kind of damage to the car like makes it pretty much inoperable, like if it's like decently severe. But it looks like they changed all that, and this is like way more arcadey, way more Saints Row-y. So a lot of people are upset about that.
That's terrible.
Right, like
That's a terrible
so like
direction.
yeah, like in the trailer he's like shooting cars
I
like
can see
4
compromise.
times and they're exploding, which is fucking patently false. Like, But I mean, whatever. I think the concept is kind of cool. The setting is cool. The main character looks cool.
Probably not gonna play.
It's got some pluses, but mostly I'm not interested.
All right.
We're
not
about
interested.
something you're not
That's the Wolf Lives Here stamp of approval. Not interested. Moving on.
Stamp of disapproval.
Stamp of approval of non-interest.
I approve your disapproval.
Thank you. That has been seconded by Joe. I noticed all Joeheads.
Actually, I think we can stream on this a little bit. It's the A Wolf Lives Here stamp of existence.
Right. This exists.
Mafia 3.
Don't spend your
It's a
money
thing.
on it.
Maybe you want to play it, maybe don't. What they did show that I thought was actually like surprisingly fucking cool looking was Crackdown 3, which was fucking nuts. Because they're doing some stuff with cloud technology, which I thought was an idiot, stupid thing that was fake. But like the entire city is destructible.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the entire fucking city is
Oh, and
destructible.
so like
They're processing it
Yeah.
off-site.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be in like
So-
every video game of the future.
Like in the fucking
to the point where the next generation of video game system probably doesn't include a box that
right.
you buy.
Exactly. It's just
It's just an app for your
controller.
right. It's a controller
TV,
with like an
it's a
OS on it.
subscription.
But yeah, like it's nuts. In the trailer or the gameplay trailer, he like is destroying the bottom half of a very large building with a rocket launcher, and he destroys enough of it to where it finally like collapses and falls and lands on other buildings, and they fuck up and shit. And like each building is rated. Like if you have like a shitty building, it's pretty easy to destroy. But if you have like a big ass tower like that, you're not gonna necessarily blow it up unless you have like a shit ton of like C4 and shit planted everywhere.
Right.
So they're like thinking about that shit, which is cool.
Structural integrity.
Right. So that looked really fucking rad. And then at the end, they just like detonated the entire city, and just like buildings were fucking falling in the distance and stuff. It was really cool.
I really like that my one plastic cup is throwing off all the production value.
No, it's fine, man. I do like that plastic cup. That's probably my favorite
Says
one. John
Packard?
has. Yeah.
It's an engine company. They make Peterbilt's engines.
No way.
Yeah.
I deal with those a lot.
Yeah, that's your job. Oh, you're like, wow.
See those
Cool.
every day.
Bringing it
Connection.
in.
Yeah.
All right, so
right,
let's not linger too long.
Not beleaguer the point. Check out Gamescom. It's all over YouTube.
Yeah, some cool MGS updates, some cool Fallout updates. Definitely psyched about the MGS and Fallout updates.
Quantum Break surprised me. It looked way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
That's
Into the
like
sequel
way
to
better.
Quantum, whatever it was.
Nope.
That other dumb game.
This is Remedy's new game. The guys who made Alan Wake and the original Max Payne's.
Oh,
So I'm excited because I really fucking liked Alan Wake. It was
Yeah.
definitely like my sleeper hit of the last generation. If we're just talking about last gen, it's probably in my top 5.
nice.
But yeah, good shit.
I've been reading Neuromancer a lot.
Right.
It's fucking awesome. It's like the kind of the birth of cyberpunk as we know it. And played a lot of this game called Android Netrunner, which is right behind me.
It's in that white box.
Yeah, so you're jacking into like cyber worlds and hacking corporations. It's really dope, and that's what this the book lays the framework for all that stuff. It's a really endearing guy who's a drug addict, my favorite kind of guy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So relatable.
Yeah.
That's probably what
It's
we're
just,
doing.
it's fucking amazingly well written. I just like, I always, every time I'm reading a book, I'm always like, lost
By
in
reading
the
a book, he
structure
means
of how
listening to a book.
they say, how they
Or
are
an
able
audible.
to paint a picture. So
Right.
I'm like pretty jazzed at this guy's ability because it's a lot more like abrupt. I guess not like Polinic, not quite like Polinic.
But close,
abrupt.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really visceral.
I do
and
enjoy
sick.
that style of writing.
Yeah, it's like that style of writing, but in like this, like completely abstract environment,
Right.
where everything, even when it's non-abstract, it's like people's clothes are like, people's skin has dermal implants. They have like patterns, like every
Customizable skin.
customizable everything.
That's fucking cool. dude.
Everybody's a fucking cyborg, and it's awesome.
Right.
But beyond that, been playing a little bit of Fallout. Yeah, and a bunch of Smash. What's up, Zach?
Smash.
I got a haircut.
He got a haircut,
All
ladies
right.
and gentlemen.
That's about it. No, I watched I'm going back to Rick and Morty. The new episode of Rick and Morty came out on Sunday, and it's better than the first one. I'm so happy. The show's just going to continue to get better.
I haven't seen any of that.
It's really fucking funny.
They do such a good job.
The only thing I saw an episode of Rick and Morty where they like killed the Simpsons and had to replace them.
Well, that wasn't even an episode. That was literally just an intro to The Simpsons. Like, no, it was funny because it was like a 10-minute thing.
Intro to The Simpsons.
It's the normal intro. Everything's fine, and then Rick and Morty come in the ship through a portal and just crush the entire family. They are yellow goo, like all over, and Rick just like scoops a bunch of it up, and then they go to another planet that like
Clones.
yeah, it's like a clone factory, and they just like clone all of the Simpsons again and put them back there. It was funny because at the end, Bart's like, "No more guest animators." I was like, "That's funny."
Yeah.
What's up, Joe?
I've been trying to catch up on season 2 of True Detective, and
Rad.
I've been checking out the
God.
new tournament mode on Super Smash Brothers.
Rad.
Dope.
I'm excited for that.
Everything that we wanted from tournament mode,
Can you do
we
like
totally didn't get.
Right.
Because yes, you can join. Like basically, Nintendo has this. Like every 20 minutes, they'll start a bunch of tournaments of their own,
That's cool.
where it's like a bunch of different for glory style rules, and then for fun and like
Right.
items. Some like for glory custom, where you can use custom moves.
Nice.
So they have all these stock tournaments that they're starting all the time, but then there's like a make your own, but you can only make free for all.
Oh wow.
That's retarded.
That's
And you
weird.
can't make like sets. You can't make.
There's not enough
you can't
customization,
make
yeah.
like
You can't change
a
rules.
legit tournament
Right.
like you'd want to be able to make.
Right.
Like,
And I'm
what
sure
would
they
be
did
the
that
point of
intentionally
making a tournament
because
mode?
Yeah, right.
they didn't want us to have exactly what we wanted.
No, that's their
So-
favorite thing to do.
They don't want us
Too
to have
easy.
exactly what we wanted, and they definitely don't want us to have enough of what we wanted.
But it is fun to play. Another thing is the For Glory match tournaments are 3-minute 2 stocks. 3 minutes.
That's fucking.
But the
fast.
one thing they did that was good is if it goes to time, the person with the lowest percent, if it's tied, wins.
Is it that? What is the lowest?
There's no
percent?
sudden death.
sudden death.
Okay, I thought it was damage dealt or something. Weird. That might have been a guess, like somebody was positing, like before it came out or something. I don't remember. But that's rad.
All right, so we're about to jump the fuck in.
Dystopian society.
So yeah, like I said earlier, we're discussing dystopian worlds,
books.
and we're not necessarily gonna try. Our aim is to not recount every single dystopian world we've ever encountered in
Right.
media, just to try and define what it is.
What it
Because
means for us, basically.
I
We
call
don't have that kind of time.
I called these two guys, and I was, I asked them if they wanted to do that, and they researched it and just found a really open-ended, broad definition.
Of what dystopian was.
And
I was
that's-
surprised at how broad the definition for dystopian
my
was.
definition was just an intuitive one of
Right.
not utopia, like the anti-utopia.
Right.
So,
And
But usually
ironically
what it-
enough, it's usually created
And that's what the
by
formal
trying to
definition
create
is.
a
That's
utopia.
the whole reason it's called dystopian is a play on utopia, and the whole point is that it's like a gilded age, or like how in pretty much like in Blade Runner, how they talk about how the city's running so well, and like because of these androids,
because of
Right.
unspeakable means.
Right.
we have all of this, and it's always attempting to reach an unrealistic goal for civilization, and then everything falls
right, 'cause
apart.
naturally what happens whenever the utopias are by definition the perfect world. Anything is justifiable. Any action taken in the name of creating a utopia becomes justified because anything that would create an infinite good
It's worth it.
is worth a
To-
finite
yeah, right.
amount of.
Which on a big enough
Dang.
scale could be a fucking holocaust.
The whole deal is that there's no such thing as a utopia. Once you've
Right.
learned that, then there's nothing. You just stop creating dystopian worlds.
Right.
Thanks, the boss.
So one example of
I know, right?
It always
dystopian.
comes back to Metal Gear.
It's our podcast, Snake's Revenge.
One example of a
Gross.
dystopian world that I've seen, and I've talked some about this anime before, Psychopaths, is the Sybil system, which is
He's reading off of his phone. Good.
yeah, I
cover,
got
buddy.
notes.
He took notes, man. He did his
Oh, my
homework.
bad.
Yeah, this is just not me reading straight off Wikipedia. This is me copy and pasting off Wikipedia into a notepad that I could read later.
Oh man.
But basically,
Hashtag Joeheads.
yeah, the Sybil system is a government scanning system where they scan, actively measuring people's mental states, personalities, and probability to commit crime.
Right.
And then, if necessary, they'll incarcerate them or just straight up kill them.
So before the crime ever
Precog,
occurs.
Minority Report.
But no,
Yeah,
that's
kinda
all.
like
That's,
that.
that's
Stephen
almost always a feature in like dystopian fiction. Is like there's always some play on how the justice system works or how justice is dealt out in that
Right.
society.
Or like there's a whole separate branch which is just like post-apocalyptic.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's
Or where
really
there is
interesting
no
because,
law.
like, there's like a Mad Max Fallout
tribal, like
kind
tribal
of like
law.
dystopian future, and then there's also like what Joe said. It's a albeit civilized society with some strange elements to it.
Yeah,
that
and on the
aren't so clean.
surface, like Jack said earlier, it might seem like complete utopia.
Those are actually my favorite. ones as
They can
well.
always point to the fact that there's, low crime coefficients. Another result of this is because of the detailed brain scans they can do, they can tell what people are best at, and they basically map out their entire future for
Right.
them, their jobs, what they're best, suited for, and, they live the life based on the playbook they're given.
Right. I think it's like
They
it
have
is.
no freedom.
It is kind of like what you said. It's kind of like the Minority Report precog thing, but like they don't even know for sure that this person will commit a crime. It's
Well,
not
they
like
didn't
they're.
know in Minority Report.
I thought they were reading into the future with the,
Yeah.
the
Except
psychic
that
guys.
Minority Report was basically a flaw in the
Yeah,
program.
that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, the title of the movie was
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
one weird.
And the
instance,
flaw
that's why
in-
it breaks it out.
That, and if you find out that you would do something, then you cannot do it.
Cannot do
The
it.
flaw in Psychopaths is like basically there's called these asymptomatic people, which are basically like sociopaths,
Right.
who can't be, they don't get a reading when they scan them with these.
But they are completely willing to kill.
Right. Yeah, they'll commit a crime and they can't enforce laws against them because the only way they have to enforce law are these dominator guns.
So the gun literally won't fire.
Well, that won't fire on
unless
them
it's-
because they have no
okay.
crime coefficient.
Wow.
They certainly couldn't develop a new gun. Like any Gundam show, that would have never passed. It would have been like next episode, they thought of that shit. They came out with a new and improved.
So the coolest part about Psychopaths is what they do with these asymptomatic people is they harvest their brains, and that's what the civil system is. It's a conglomerate of asymptomatic brains that are measuring crime coefficients.
That's
A
rad.
bunch of sociopaths are ruling the world.
Exactly.
Well,
Right.
Fighting social commentary.
Right. Biting social
a
commentary.
wolf lives in a lab coat.
So like
That's what we do.
I heard you say earlier, you said that's your favorite kind, or the kind that are like more
Well,
or
yeah.
less normal societies with just like
Or where the majority of the citizens think that like they are in some perfect, like FF7 is a perfect example.
Right.
How like all throughout that game, I mean, like, like the people in the slums all know, like they're all like, fuck you guys, we're stuck down here in all your filth, but they still don't really know like how bad it really is. They're just pissed that they're poor and that the rich people live like up on literally, blocking the sun. I mean, blocking the sky from them. But like when you get out of Midgar and you have like you constantly run into people that just like love Shinra and like all the little people just going to work in the tower and they're like,
Right.
yeah, I work for this company, like we help everybody, like we just generate energy and build stuff and we're so cool. But then like they're literally destroying the entire planet the entire
Right.
time. And
I think a lot of these
Happens every
dystopian.
to be fair though,
worlds,
FF7 goes so far. I love it so much, but it goes so far off the rails. It starts with this like cool message of everything, and then it's
No,
just
man.
like space and stuff.
and then it's like, oh, evil demon guy.
For
Yeah.
most of these dystopian
That's
worlds
just
in
like
literature
a segue
and movies and
learning
everything,
about
they have some
Cloud.
parallels, a lot of parallels with our own governments and
Right.
societies. And there's a theme, a lot of them, of yes, this has its flaws, but what do you do to fix it?
Yeah.
And you
Right.
can't just blow it up and have
Can't
complete
just
chaos.
hashtag super nougat.
Right.
Hashtag Jupiter.
Super
Oh
dude.
god, I saw something you'd love today. It was like semi-conspiracy theorist. It was based on a Princeton
what?
review, and this is actually relevant because they were talking about the study was meant to measure whether the government actually tries to get what people want, and this is where it gets a
Is that
little.
a joke?
I figured like this is a
Right,
given.
but you would expect. This is what you would expect, I presume. No, the government doesn't always serve the people, but they, not perfectly, but people generally get some of the stuff that they lobby for, or
So kind of like a bell curve, maybe, like where
something
like,
like that.
some
So
people get a
only-
shit ton of
but
good
the way
stuff.
the way they
and-
measured it, and I just didn't read the study,
think
so
we-
I have no idea how they quantified this. They
Right.
said if the bottom axis is a scale of what the people want from 0 to 100%, 0 being they don't want it at all, 100% being they want it like everybody, there's a consensus that they want this legislation, that you would expect, and then on the y-axis you have actual legislation passed.
Right.
You would expect that legislation would be correlated linearly.
In a representative government.
Right. Like, if everybody wants it, it always happens. Right?
Or at least a lot of the time.
If the corporations want it
Imagine
too.
that. But what they found,
Or hopefully even 50 or 60%.
what they found is it was
Even,
not a
even
linear
50
progression.
or 60 would be beautiful.
Yeah, but I'm getting there, right? So what they found is that
Which I'm already pissed.
what they found is that there is literally no correlation. It's it is flatlined at 30%.
Wow.
It doesn't matter how much people want it.
It's
or
because it has to
if
do
they
with the
want it a
corporations,
lot or they
not
want
the
a little
people.
bit, then it's a flat 30%. Caveat: the top 10 wealthiest people have very close to a linear progression. Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The corporations.
It's still only very close. It's not even 100%.
It's not perfect. No, it trails off towards
Right.
the,
So there is a little bit of hope.
Or like there's
So
an even more
it was-
nefarious group out
The
there
reptiles.
That's just when they
Yeah.
give us a bone.
who's getting 100% of everything they want.
nobody.
Hashtag Illuminati.
Like, wait, you're talking like hashtag rap Illuminati?
so
or like the
It's,
It's all the same
It's
Illuminati.
a short. It's a
The
short.
real Illuminati does not care about Meek Mill's dog. I'm sorry, but we need to weigh in on that.
What about Lil B though?
Let me cut you off real quick.
The rap Illuminati
Nope.
is the entertainment arm of the real Illuminati, who is an unwitting pawn also of their nefarious deeds. This is things people believe.
I'm just
I
waiting.
don't necessarily believe it. I think it's fun to talk about.
I'm just waiting for that word to slip out that we talked about earlier.
Lizard men.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, lizard man.
The reptiles,
Yeah.
the reptilians.
Yeah.
The Bushes.
Godzilla's.
Yes, there's a guy in Britain who thinks all the Bushes are reptilians.
Yeah.
They're Nazi reptilians from outer space.
Godzilla.
He thinks Obama's a reptilian. He thinks the Queen is a reptilian.
Basically, the infogram. I'm gonna finish the story. real quick.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
The
do
infogram's
it.
like 5 minutes. I'll send it to you on Facebook.
Okay.
It's like the very end of it. They just show how they give how a bill becomes a law. Like,
They don't.
and it's just like lobbyists give people money.
Yep.
The politicians. Well, they actually give people money and give politicians jobs.
Yep. After their
And-
terms are up.
Yep, all the fucking
And
time.
so then they will write the policy,
Where they
hand it
make
to the
more money.
politician, who will put it on
A
and
back
then
of another
rider on-
bill.
Exactly, and
Sometimes it's not even built.
And this is
it's
every
completely
day.
legal, completely legal.
And it's
so
horrible.
The only thing that we could do is make it illegal.
But the thing is, it is illegal, but it's set up. It's fucking, what is it? Quid quo pro or whatever. I can't. How do you say it? Don't laugh at me.
Yeah,
That was
quid
it.
pro quo.
Quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
which is literally
It
like,
means tit for tat.
here's money, do a crime. Like you.
Here's money, do a crime.
So
it's,
naturally,
it's so strict. Like
naturally the bills only give the lobbyists more money, and it's like an endless cycle. So
Cool.
But they
that's
know
it.
we're watching the Kardashians and we have no idea what's going on. So
Right.
they're
That's
okay.
where the Illuminati comes into it.
Right.
That's where Hollywood.
They
comes
feed
into
us the Kardashians.
They want
that's
you to-
actually like I think
They
that's
want
a
you to
good
feel like a
segue back
rebel and
into
a
the-
revolutionary all the time, so you don't pay attention to the real shit that matters.
Or people are just dumb and don't know what's going on.
Probably
that?
a lot
They
of
don't
that.
care.
You're dumb, and so am I.
No, actually, if you guys are watching this podcast, you're super smart.
But a lot of us do
And
know what's
pretty.
going on, and we still won't do anything
Look,
about
guys, if you're watching this podcast, you're in the know like us. Like, come on. Like,
But
we're
no,
the-
it's actually a good segue back into that subject because I
it.
think
We live in a dystopian society.
Nah.
I think we're not there yet.
Right.
You
I
can
think-
argue,
I
but no,
think-
there are like fucking Dubai is pretty close to being a dystopian society.
Do buy yourself a plane ticket
Take it
back
back there, yeah. Oh god damn it, do it.
But yeah, so Zach, you like a more like grounded,
I
realistic
think that's a good
dystopian
point, though.
society.
I really think that's a great point. That like, one could argue we live in a dystopian society. One could argue we live in a utopian society
Right.
in some sense. Like,
You know,
it's
or
just
at least
how you're measuring
closing
it, right?
into it. Yeah.
Like, violence has certainly decreased.
Right.
But I feel like, but
That's just like one of those bullet points that have in Psychopaths. right? Isn't that what
Right,
they say?
it's-
Yeah, violence is the curse because we
arbitrary.
kill everybody.
Now we get to this like fundamental philosophical truth that everything is assigned. No value is intrinsic. Without conscious beings to assign value, then everything just is.
Right.
Just matter.
If you make the
Right.
citizens of the country that still exists the happiest people on earth, is it worth it?
But
Yes.
But we can talk
If
about.
I'm there.
It does make sense
The problem
to
is we
talk
need to
about
apply
what
that
ought
to
to
the
be
whole planet.
and try and
The
come-
thing is, that's not going to happen though. It's not going to happen until aliens show up. The day aliens show up, though, that's the day like all Earth puts all of its bullshit aside,
And
because
then
then
we
we
come
have an
together.
outer.
It's just like the Watchmen
We have an outer.
enemy.
for like 2
Or
seconds
zombies.
until we like either die or make friends, and then we're back to the same.
Or zombie
bullshit.
vampires.
Then we're just fronting, drugs through a different artifice.
They actually do that in Gears of War.
We're moving
which is
drugs
kinda
through
cool.
space, yo.
The coalition of
Drugs
ordered
through
governments.
governments,
Yeah, like and they don't come from space; they come from underground.
which is cool. But the point I'm trying to make.
It was cool because like we were actually the invaders. We just didn't know. Like we came to the planet.
Oh, sorry,
And
guys.
there was no one there. And we're like, oh, cool, rad planet.
Oh, hey,
Expectation.
let's go see what Marcus and the Cogs are doing.
And years later, underground, they're like, nah, we've been living here this whole time. We're gross monster guys.
It's like when we found the new world of America,
right.
and there was all these
We thought it was
aliens
ours,
here.
And there was all these people. Oh, what are you guys doing here?
These brown aliens.
Nah, bro, this is my
Can we
shit.
not-
I got more guns.
Yo, I gave you like 8 beads, Zach's dumb ancestors.
No, they weren't
This
dumb.
land is
They
dumb.
thought they were real fucking cool.
They did. They were like, stupid white people, you can't own the
How
land.
do you own land, you dumb idiot? Yeah, I'll take all your gold and you can have all this land. Idiot.
6 weeks later, there's a fence.
The fuck is this shit?
But no, the point I was trying to make was because like the whole us talking about the government and shit and all that tangent. The whole reason like dystopian literature even really started. I mean, it didn't start with them, but I'm gonna use
What was that? That was a fork take. I didn't.
spit take. Starting with
She's about to tell me why dystopian literature started. Origin story.
another unnecessary pressure. I understand that it's not really where it started, but it's where it started becoming like in the main, like in
True
the,
story
in,
made up.
in the mainstream eye with Brave New World and
I'm a very
1984.
incredulous
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Those are like well regarded.
Generally, yeah.
You know.
I mean,
In our
there's some of the
lifetime.
first dystopian, like modern dystopian stories, and because the whole point of it was to like, especially with Orwell, I mean, and Huxley too. Huxley was just as much like a
Visionary.
and yeah, it just he wanted
I just love
to,
how
like,
they went in completely different ways. Like, it was
Yeah.
very cool.
But
Very
it's
cool.
funny because
A
they're
lot of
both
dimensions
equally
to the whole
possible.
dystopian thing.
Right.
Both of them.
And they're
I
both and they
feel
both
like
come to existence somehow together.
Yeah.
Sort of.
1984 spooks me way more though because
Right.
it's so accurate. It's so like what the fuck we have now.
I don't know, man. They take like
All of
mood
Eurasia-
altering drugs and like
I know, I know.
And
He,
Huxley,
he
like-
doesn't get into like the scientific manipulation of people so much in 1984, as far as like with like chemical therapy and stuff
Right.
like that. It's all
You don't think
psychological.
we're fed drugs?
And
that's what I'm saying.
That's
like,
what we're saying.
Like in
But,
Brave New World,
Joeheads.
in Brave New World, they dish out soma, which is just like a euphoric drug, like LSD, that you can just get.
But then in
anytime.
1984, especially like the way
Actually,
they
a muscle
describe the
relaxer.
2 countries or the 3 countries that exist in
it's not the
1984.
real soma; it's like
You
a
guys are
fake
getting
soma.
dangerously
That-
close to Scientology right now.
What? No, the
Well, I don't know if you've seen the new trailers for
Battlefield Earth 2. Finally,
Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. Tom Cruise is still doing all his own stunts, and that's because he's a god king.
Tom Cruise is the best.
Because of
I
Scientology.
didn't know that. He had also Edge of Tomorrow documentary.
That's a fucking good movie, dude.
I like that,
But
too.
seriously, I just want to make this point. What-
Okay, make the point. Make the point.
We are terrible.
No, in 1984, specifically, the way he describes warfare, there are 3 countries in existence in 1984, and they are perpetually and purposefully at war.
Right.
All economies in that world are driven by
The war. Yeah.
and basically they keep the society itself has just been inundated with media and their work, really. Like in 1984 specifically, like everyone is so beaten down from their shitty shit jobs.
Right.
And like in 1984, it's a much more like psychological thing. It's every fucking corner they turn, they see Big Brother. Every corner they turn, they're being recorded. And now, because like, you want to talk about like calling it, everything we own records everything we do. Like I want to buy a new TV, but it scares me because Samsung TVs record everything that happens in your living room.
Cool.
So, like how? Like
With a
wow.
microphone. and some of them do video.
And the internet.
And Samsung, and right now, 80% of all this data that gets stolen from us without, our knowledge and everything, it's not going to some shadow government somewhere. I mean, it's going to our government, but it gets sold to companies.
Just sold to us.
They just use
it to market.
Yeah, it's used to target
which
advertising.
Will lead to
Which has
Neuromancer.
the problem with marketing, all this data being in marketing hands, is the security level is just it's not like governments with top secret.
Governments getting every security clearance
Here's the thing.
person in the country.
I just want to make this point real quick. I don't do they know it's not working? Dude, I don't buy fucking shit that any advertisement on Facebook.
I really
shit
hate when I
ever
do though. I always notice when I do buy something that I
People
know is
are
targeted
buying
at
stuff
me.
because it does work.
It's one item. It's Old Spice. That's the one thing.
Are there some people? Yeah, I'm guessing. Are there some? I'm guessing it's just microtransactions. There are whales. There are people who are ultra susceptible.
Dude, that episode of
to
South Park when they
advertisements.
talk about that.
Right.
Well,
We all are.
They don't.
It
It depends on what we're
it's
advertising.
it's
You
hilariously
buy
bad to me.
video
I
games.
Google searched one thing. And suddenly that's my ads on Facebook,
right.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's
But
fucking
this is the
stupid.
thing. They
I see what you're
they
saying.
invest money proportionally to how well they predict it will work, and their predictions are spot on.
Right.
They know that it's gonna.
That's what I'm saying. There has to be
Even-
people out there that are ultra susceptible to marketing, who are just
I know I've clicked on links on Facebook because I'm like, oh man, those are pretty. Sick.
I'm not an internet link.
The only time I
No,
click
me
on
neither,
it is
man. I ignore every link ever.
too.
well, the only time I click
people
on
also
it
click on it.
specifically
I
on
don't even
Facebook, it's
fucking mess
that's a
with
dope.
And okay,
jacket.
you click on it, but do you always buy it? Do you even buy it 90%?
I've never clicked on a link
So
and
you're
bought
literally just
anything on the internet.
utilizing
But even
their advertisement and costing them
But
money and
this
then
is the
giving
thing,
nothing
though.
in return.
This is the thing. It's exposure. Even if you even if it makes you think about the website.
Right.
Again,
Right.
it's
When you
oh, yeah.
do want whatever it is because you've seen all those ads.
Right, but I wanted it already.
I definitely click
so
on dope coats. I
No,
gotta
but
say.
you'll go to them.
If it shows me
Look,
a
alright.
dope
I've
coat
clicked-
Dope coats?
or a video
clicked on
game shirt
plenty
that's
of
actually cool. I missed out on this super cool Shinra shirt I really wanted.
Oh, that was cool.
I
That was
can't
cool.
find it
I've
now,
seen
but it'll
so
come
much
back.
cool shit on Facebook advertising. I'm not gonna lie.
Here's the thing. I always see that shit. I don't ever click on it. I don't ever think about buying it.
Yeah, I never.
I just look at
What
it.
I don't understand.
I'm like, that's cool.
That's what you tell yourself.
It's the same thing with
I've-
YouTube.
I've-
It's
I've never
skip,
done it. I
Skip,
mean-
skip 1, 2, 3.
5, 4,
skip.
3, 2, 1. Step.
Exactly. They're throwing these ads at you, and I'm not fucking listening.
I watched a whole GoPro ad, but just because it had Glitch
was
Mob
cool
as the
as shit.
background. But oh god, we're so far off base.
Not really.
No, this
Yeah,
is
no,
This is
but
part
yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
dystopian
But
society.
the whole thing with the point I was trying to make
This is the Huxley
it
part.
started-
We're being inundated with ads all the time.
Inundated,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Whatever, dude.
Both of you said it. I was
I'm
like,
pretty sure it's the British pronunciation. So you can fuck right off.
Oh god, you're a right cunt. Oh cool.
Proper cunt.
I got to say cunt.
A right, proper, bloody
Bloody
cunt.
Bloody cunt.
We British now.
Gay man.
Oh, he did. See, they didn't even get that reference because we didn't post last
Watch
week.
the
last week's
By
episode.
the way, we tried to record last week for you,
And we did.
Technical difficulties.
Exactly.
Please hang in there. baby.
Wah, 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 wah.
So
I don't know why I
it's
thought
funny, though,
making
because
this motion would put up a technical difficulties poster
And a cat.
Oh, one of the people that was eagerly anticipating our next podcast.
Right.
Oh,
release.
Sorry,
there
Mom.
are tens.
There are numbers.
A full tens of people. Probably upwards of 20 people who have watched our video on YouTube.
And we can use plural.
80% my ex-girlfriends now,
Right.
so that's cool.
So
They still watch?
Just looking for new material.
To make fun of you?
All right.
Assholes.
Yeah, I doubt they're that dedicated to you.
You'd be
But-
surprised. Again, I refer you
We
back
would
to
be surprised.
I haven't shown you guys my dick.
It's terrifying.
But I've seen it, so
It's instant style.
I've never seen your dick.
You haven't seen my dick?
oh, I've seen.
Can we?
it.
Hold on.
It hasn't paused. Just letting you know.
I meant people at home.
Oh,
Give me a
earmuffs. Earmuffs for a second.
Just
I don't give a
show
shit.
America
Work this
and the
out.
world your dick.
So I
Lenny
think
Kravitz
it's cool
shows
though
dick.
because Neuromancer is kind of the next extension of that.
Right.
Now that we have all these tools for picking up data for advertising, the next step is perfect advertising, and then we're already at a stage where corporations will rule the world. That's what I just was talking about.
Right.
They already
So,
do.
everything is In Neuromancer, everything has a brand.
Has something to say about it.
Everything has a brand. You know, like people are branded, like because they have all this, you know, augmentation. Like
I literally have a trademark image. I have a trademark
Mitsubishi skin and shit.
Tattooed on your leg.
So I mean,
so you're the whale. You're the one.
No,
because you would have bought that shit anyway. That's my point. Like, no matter what, you were gonna fucking buy Skyrim. You know,
It's like,
no matter what, I'm probably.
I bought it before I saw a commercial.
I'm gonna buy Metal Gear Solid.
I was already
like,
playing it, and
right.
I saw the commercial. Like, oh, it was a cool commercial.
Yeah, it was a cool commercial.
It worked on my idiot dad.
All it did was make me hype for a game I already wanted. Like,
No, seriously, my dad did not shut up about the Skyrim trailer for so long. It was a cool trailer.
Your dad is all about that shit.
Yeah,
he is all
he
about
loved
that high
that trailer.
fantasy.
That's cool.
Is.
Yeah, he's a high fantasy.
Dude,
guy.
have you guys played Shadowrun?
No.
Shadow.
Anything about it?
Is he like an
It is
elven
like
maid?
the cyberpunk mixed with magic.
just
What the
grew up
fuck?
on
Right, stupid.
Exactly.
Fuck that.
So they're probably gonna play
Okay.
because there's a fair amount of cyberpunk.
But what I was saying was because like early on in like most dystopian literature, because it started as literature more than anything. I mean, obviously everything did.
Yeah.
But most of it was like designed to be sort of like warnings, especially with like the big sci-fi writers you think about, like H.G. Wells and Verne and Huxley and Orwell. The whole point was to like warn about like what I like Jules Verne. I don't care. Not as much as any of those other people I named, but I mean it was like a warning, really, like because a lot of people saw forward to like where the advancements in technology could go and everything, and then like we hit this benchmark,
like the
we've hit,
Marvel
like,
Illuminati.
so many of them
Iron Man.
all the time. But I kind of hate now how popular like dystopian things are, because I feel like it gets watered down.
Absolutely.
And it's just like it's just a soft landing, really. It's like, oh, we want like a cool
Backdrop.
art style.
Here it is.
Here the apocalypse happened.
Yeah.
Or like this evil.
Yeah, it's definitely been
corporation.
overdone, but like it just.
It's still when
I
it's
don't
done
think
well.
I
It
don't
still
think
rings
you
true.
can
exactly.
overdo
Right.
it.
It
You can't
doesn't-
overdo
it
it
doesn't
because
sully
it's
the
our
genre.
everyday lives. It's just through
Well,
a
it's not
different
all-
color
it's not
lens.
all-
Holy shit, man!
I really didn't like that it was like put into like another coming back to like why I don't like Devil May Cry, DMC.
Yeah.
I
that
really
might be
didn't
my-
like it in that.
yeah.
Like I did not like the dystopian
But
vibe it had.
I
in
mean,
that.
that's 3 was kind of like that already anyway.
It was more like
it's because they don't
religious
talk about-
fundamentalism.
Well, yeah, that's
not
true.
not
I
necessarily.
don't care. I
dystopian.
really like the slurm thing.
That
I
was,
don't-
that was
I
so
don't-
dumb because
I
it
don't
was
know-
just slurm.
I
Like,
know, it was amazing. I don't remember the name of the real story, and that's what annoys me. But
the real drink.
no, I mean the real. Well,
I'm sure you can
I
definitely
don't
do
know if
bad dystopians.
I don't know if it was a drink.
Yeah,
I mean
it's
the
done
real
all the
that
time.
real story, like because the episode of Futurama that they took that from.
That's based on
it's based on
something.
something else. They didn't really take it.
Isn't it just based on like the fact that Coke used to have cocaine in it?
No. It's a story. It's like it's about
okay,
it's
alright.
about like a monster.
It's a
That's,
dystopian.
that's where it being a monster comes from.
Okay.
It's some old story. I don't remember, but yeah, that's true. I mean, because they hit that a little hard. Like, oh yeah, fuck, dude, fuck. Don't make me hate that game.
Dude,
I like that game a lot.
The game's dumb.
The game plays so good.
It
though.
plays great-ish. But I mean, at the
I
end
think
of the
you're
day,
all mixed up. I loved it. It was
that's
so
stupid.
good.
That's a stupid line.
That was a perfect line. Dude, they're all stupid lines.
Yeah, but like it was
The
like it
contrast
was
that-
taking itself too seriously compared to the other lines.
That's true. If there's anything that I had a problem with about that game is that it was taking itself way too seriously in a very hipster way.
Right.
3 was so serial.
Yeah.
But
Not
contrast
really at all.
contrast that line with "I want to fill your dark soul with light."
Exactly. That's hilariously bad.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Like,
It was just an accident. Like that wasn't that bad.
at that point, it was an accident, but they definitely started leaning into it after that. Like after 2, like 3 definitely.
wouldn't be the one.
Yeah, but 3 fucking nailed it. There was
Right,
no
exactly.
point. There's no point in 3 where I was like, that was a little too much.
Right.
I was like, you nailed it. You're done.
Even parts of 4, maybe a little too much.
Yeah.
Like when Dante is shoving the thorns into that girl, and he's just being
Yeah,
like
but,
very
like, the
sexual.
con-
about
loved it. I loved
It was
it.
really cool. It was funny as shit.
The
Like,
context is like he is the jokester because you already have a foil, you know.
Right.
You already have Nero.
But then Nero's a jokester. He does the Terminator 2 thing when he gets pulled into the dude's hand and he's like, no. And then like it's pulled down into the thing. That's Terminator 2. When he like after he grabs him. And
See,
all
this
that
is
shit.
why 3's rad and 4's rad. Like I like those
Yeah,
ones.
those are fucking.
Somebody needed to do that.
I'm trying to remember
So
some of
if
the
we already
really.
nailed this shit. I mean, it seems like we already have.
We already have.
No, I mean we can talk more about like our
could-
experiences with interacting with it. Like
Or not.
Like, what do you want to explore?
Where are we at on time? Do we have
I have a timer. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I think it's still going.
We hit the mark.
Yeah, we're good time.
But yeah, basically, I mean, the main thing is it's like I do like seeing like the different ways they handle the aspects of it, like the different styles of it, basically, like straight up.
Man, we should have like definitely waited to get to distilling what it was without me just saying it in like the first second.
Right.
Like, oh, this is what it
so
is.
our conclusion we came to is that it's a pretty broad thing.
Yeah,
Well, that and like it comes from.
I don't feel like any.
It comes from buying into a utopia.
Right.
You know.
And then but like the different ways it gets handled, like
I do that.
love.
Like I like how a dystopian
like
thing can be a
Crackdown.
lot
You
of
mentioned
things.
Crackdown 3, which I mean, not a good story.
No,
at all.
but it did have like a really interesting twist at the end of the first.
Yeah,
one,
and
right?
because the whole way through it, like aside from all the violent, like the gang violence and everything,
Right.
it's like everything's like really shiny and clean.
Yeah.
And, like all your tech's really like high tech.
Yeah, you're a high tech police officer,
like everything. It seems like once you clean, the criminal element out, everything's gonna be fine,
right,
or whatever. But then you find out at the end, that, like, it's all fucked.
I'm actually a bad guy.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, fucking cool.
Oh, fuck you, Street Fighter 4.
Is that who it was?
Same
That's
guy.
awesome.
He's on all kinds of shit, dude.
Yeah, man.
I'm really hoping that voice is in because I think they just label him as the voice in the credits.
No, he's the director,
something
or some
like
shit
that.
like that.
Right.
Some
I hope it's in 3.
ambiguous.
I
wish he was the voice of the guy. No,
I like the voice.
I take
like
it back.
voice.
No, I was gonna say of the guy who talks to you in XCOM.
Right.
But never mind. I take that back because Commander. Just the way he says it, I love it. XCOM's fucking perfect.
But yeah, I like my
But then,
favorite
my
is like
personal
yours.
favorite are the ones where like between like FF7 and then like Blade Runner, where it's like it's very clear that what they tried to do did not work, and
Right.
like Ev, the city's disgusting, like Looper,
Right.
Looper fucking nailed it because it was only what was it? It's like 2025,
Something like that. Yeah.
It's not very
Near
far
future,
off.
yeah.
So like all the buildings and shit are really old, but then you see these like exactly how it's gonna fucking happen. There's gonna be a really old building with some super high tech fucking billboard on it,
Right.
and shit like that. And then like
Like
especially
it is today.
that's what I'm saying. But
There was a really good episode of Black Mirror that I thought was like fucking perfect and like took Dystopian to like a different section that I'd never seen before.
I don't care if you think Gamer's a shitty movie. Anyone, it's a cool movie.
Let this man talk.
It was like it took a really interesting angle on crime and punishment. Okay, so it opens with a woman being chased like the Purge style through a town. I don't know if you've seen the Purge. It's where like a bunch of dudes in masks like hunt people down and kill them because it's like legal that one night.
Yeah.
So she wakes up and she like goes out in the street. She has no idea where she is or who she is, and there's people out there just like filming her, like not hundreds, but like 20s of people out there
20s.
filming
Scores.
her.
I've never used 20s.
Scores of people,
as a unit.
and they just all have their phones and they're
Score.
just
20.
filming her. And she's like, "What the fuck is happening?" And then some fucking whack job shows up in a mask and tries to kill her, and no one's helping. They're just all filming. And she's like, "What the fuck? This is weird." She spends the whole episode, trying to get away from these guys, and she eventually comes to the point where she's at a dead end. She's about to get fucking shot with a shotgun. And actually, no, she has the shotgun. She's about to shoot the dude who's gonna kill her, and she pulls the trigger, and confetti fucking shoots out everywhere. And like the door fucking opens, and she like walks out into a studio audience, and all the people who were killing her, and even like the people she was like running with, like just like grab her and put her in a chair and like lock her down. And they reveal to you that she is
A murderer?
Yes, she was a murderer who
Because she has the capacity.
murdered and tortured a little girl and filmed it. And she was caught. And this is like how they punish people in the society now. Is like they continually like make them live.
Go tit for tat.
Right, yeah, it's like 100% like eye for an eye. Like, and this is her punishment. She lives through this, and they wipe her memory every day, and they do this every day.
Like
and they didn't
Prometheus style.
Right. Yeah, she's continually waking up and going through this ordeal every day. She's like
It's a
scared
lot
as
of
fuck.
labor, man. Just put them in prison, Jesus.
Here's the thing, though. They let people come in and partake. Like everyone who's
just
like
entertainment.
crime and punishment becomes the new reality TV
That
hit
would be-
sensation.
That's Dead Man Wonderland.
Isn't that pretty fucking nuts?
It is Dead
It's
Man
kinda
Wonderland.
It is really but it made me like fucking think because like the entire
Dead
time,
Man Wonderland was like underground.
the entire time
Oh,
you're
it was like a theme park.
But no, like the fighting, which was the whole point of the show, was.
Well, they had other stuff going on.
No,
that wasn't
they
that.
had a literal death match in a fucking Coliseum
Oh,
surrounded
yeah,
by
you're
people.
right, you're right.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of
Everyone
like
knew.
it's kind of like Manhunt too.
The problem
Like,
with
this
that
isn't like
is-
to
Yeah,
the death.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
nobody
Problem with
ever
that
Literally
is it
it's
gives a
not
precedent for
nuanced.
putting
Okay.
people in
At
jail
all.
just
No,
for
it's
entertainment.
kind of garbage.
Right.
I like
And like it also makes
I
you
watched
think
the whole thing.
because like you experience the whole thing without knowing this, and the entire time you feel for her because she's like super fucking scared. She has a picture of the little girl, but she can't remember who she is, so she assumes it's her daughter. And she's running around looking for her, and she's being chased
That's
by like
fucked
all
up
these
right
people.
there. Like,
And she trusts this guy, and then he like ties her down and is about to like cut her head off, and then like somebody comes and saves her, and like
So she's been wiped, so she doesn't even remember
she doesn't even
being
remember.
a
So
criminal.
she's just like being tortured
Man, this
and like
gets,
with
like,
a clean slate. And like if
Right.
you like
and at what point have
at
you
what
done
point-
a worse crime for them to be able to do that?
exactly,
Well,
and what's the upper limit on this? Like how long does she
What's
go
the
through
point?
this?
Like, what is the ideal of
Right. If punishment is supposed to be
to deter
or
crime?
deter or be a rehabilitation in some sense, like what's the rehabilitation if you wipe her memory every night?
Exactly.
She's already rehabilitated.
Right. If you could
Just
wipe her
wipe her.
memory and then condition her to not be
Yeah,
a murderer.
That's the part where you're like, if you read too far into it, you're like, wow, if I'm gonna suspend my belief and think that you have like the ability to wipe people's memory, why can't you just fix their fucking
That's the
neurology?
dystopian part. Like they don't care anymore because this is a lucrative business now.
Right,
Wherein like people pay money to come in and like literally be one of the guys in the audience filming.
So I just want to point out something I think that we've arrived at, that every society is a dystopian society in some sense.
Right.
And the only thing that can fix these problems is a society that's readily available to adapt.
I think the
Thus,
only way we get away from dystopian
the scientific
societies
method,
is going backwards
Tried and true
to
via trial
this
and error.
tribal.
Joe wants to
I
go
like
full
that.
tribal.
Yeah.
Joe wants to go full tribal.
no, you don't.
I buy that. Joeheads and
No.
Joe definitely want to go tribal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Hunter-gatherer
If we go back to
style.
the hunter-gatherer like jungle rules,
Right.
like I just eat Cody, right?
Right, exactly. Here, are you comfortable with the idea of like some dude who's way bigger, way stronger than you, just killing you and eating all your food?
And fucking
Like,
your woman. Like, don't forget
That's
that.
how it happened, man.
if I die, I die.
But is that how you want it to happen?
Not to me.
My main problem.
I'm gonna be a crafty tribe.
Like,
But I think overall it'd be better for a human society.
I don't know about
What
that.
are you on?
See, no, my whole thing with
Drugs?
with all the dystopian, like, because I do. I mean, like, I play a lot of games in the genre.
I do
and
entertain
read
that
a lot
thought.
of,
I mean-
like things in
I
the
mean,
genre.
naturally, physically, we'd be better off not sitting at desks all day. You know,
Go to the-
Our
You
bodies-
don't sit at a desk all day. You do like cool
Yeah,
labor
you
and
have
shit.
the,
As a society,
you have
we
the
should be
option
doing
to
active-
not be sedentary if
Right.
you don't want to. Lovely thing about a free country.
Yeah, but we don't have the option.
Oh yeah, we do.
I went to the
Because
river
we're
all
told
day
all
yesterday.
He went to the
our
river
lives,
all
day.
College.
I left my phone in the car.
Somebody telling you something.
But
is
then you
not
grow up like you're me, and you grow up and you get an associate's degree, and that's good enough. I actually got my associate's degree.
good-
If y'all
good
can't
job.
see what I'm saying,
They
with the
emailed me
fact
today.
I went to
that
college.
our
I got a
society
degree.
isn't set up
Graduation,
for
you have
physical
enough.
exercise.
And I went to the river. What's that? Not this week, but
Joe,
last
nobody
week.
works 16 hours a day. It is your prerogative whether you want to exercise or not. Like,
Okay.
unless
there are
unless
people
you
that
have to work
but they're
16 hours a day
Hispanic.
nobody in this country works 16 hours
Well,
a day
yeah, nobody
by
who
law.
legally.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah,
If
yeah.
it was hunter
You know-
gatherers, you couldn't avoid it. You couldn't just sit on your ass because you'd have to go get.
Here's
Is that
the-
our
here-
only
wait a
prerogative in
minute.
life
Let
is
me
physical-
stop you.
physical fit-
Let me stop you there.
Is that our only
Contrary to
objective?
popular belief, tribes were incredibly sedentary. They
Oh, yeah,
spent
they
maybe
all-
2
oh,
or
yeah.
3 hours a day doing physical labor, and they chilled the fuck out the rest of the day.
It's
That's
exactly how it is
fine.
now.
That
I mean,
was,
they,
that was what
you went to get food when you
Adam
were
and Eve
hungry.
was. It was the it was started off as an allegory of like the trials of the pitfalls of agriculture. It was like when we learned to feed ourselves, look at all these things that we encountered.
Right.
So
All the good and all the bad that's come out of it.
Hunter gatherers isn't agriculture though. That was
yeah, there's
pre-agriculture.
the gatherer part.
Right, but yeah, but
And
they're
the
not
hunter
growing their own food. You know, it's not an agricultural
Yeah,
society.
I guess an agrarian society.
Right.
Is what they call that, right?
Right. But I mean, like I said, it's
yeah, but
actually
there's
there.
a lot of other metrics that you would not, where hunter gatherers would not rank high on your on the list.
Life
you know?
expectancy being 40 and dying would be pretty
40?
shitty. Yeah, right. That's being very generous.
That's
I'll-
dying of old age.
How are we gonna have all the technology? Yeah, people are just gonna die at 12, 13. Like that's
Right.
gonna happen. People are gonna die from the rotting of the teeth. That's like the most common cause of death and
Back in the day.
yeah, like just terrible. Like
I don't want my teeth
it's
to fall
just
out.
It's just
I think
myopia
it
to
sounds so
say that.
sexy right now.
I want my teeth to fall out, guys.
One of the
To
things
say that is just to have like myopia, like just be
Myopia?
completely short-sighted.
Yeah, just
Not
One of the things
remember all the reason we're here is because we didn't want to be there.
yeah, but he never got to have a say in that.
Oh no!
You're such a
Let me just minimize your viewpoint real quick with a funny voice. Yeah, but he didn't get to choose, you know. But you can choose.
Oh,
There's nothing
I'm
stopping you.
gonna go be a hunter-gatherer.
Go
I'm
be a
telling you,
fucking-
dude, do it, man.
Dude, I have friends that
Fucking
are
Gary
completely-
Paulson.
You have no
that shit.
idea how like
You
how
got me.
jealous
You got me
and,
turned.
Yeah.
If Gary
Like,
Paulson
you,
that
if
shit.
you leave tomorrow and like you just leave your 3DS, leave your 3DS.
Uh oh, no more Smash, Joe.
Oh shit.
Plus, you
Never
gotta
mind.
learn how to fucking bow hunt and shit.
Yeah, and like
the bow
lucky
hunt,
for
it's
you,
the
it's not
Smash
going to be
Bros.
like real hunter-gatherer society because you're not going to have like warring tribes that you have to worry about. You're just going to have to worry about all the fucking animals that can eat.
We
you.
need new hunter-gatherers, like where it's peaceful and shit.
Oh boy.
I want all the good
This-
We
from
have to
both
live off the
worlds.
land.
This shit just
I want all the good
leads
from both
inevitably
worlds and
into
none
where
of the
we are
bad.
right
We
now.
need to go back to the land. We need to put
You're
these.
killing me right
we need
now.
to put these in here.
Joeheads,
Please drop your phone in there.
please do it.
Please.
Commit,
God.
man.
I almost did.
Yeah, but then I remember I gotta like text a girl later.
By that I mean get on Smashboards.
I don't know. What you guys do with your phone? That's literally the only reason I have one.
Where are we at on time?
Who cares?
I just want to make sure we're actually recording this. We got about 10 minutes left.
One of the things about most dystopian media that I see that like, kind of bothers me is I feel like it always leans toward that mankind is worse on aggregate than I feel like we really are. Like that, what you were just talking
Yeah.
about with the
Right.
Black Mirror, how like everyone's like paying to film. I don't want to film some chick getting like
Brutally,
quote,
like
murdered.
yeah.
Like,
Right.
She doesn't get murdered, but she thinks the whole time she's getting murdered.
Yeah,
And then,
I
like-
definitely second that. Like I always.
Yeah, like I don't see the appeal.
and
of
like
that.
I understand
Like, that's
mob
torturous.
mentality.
Like
and
I don't want to.
everything,
I don't want to see someone be
I'm
executed.
gonna go
Like,
ahead and
I know it's a
spoil the
necessary
first
evil
episode.
to some people.
Yeah.
But like I don't want to see that. Like you don't want
And
to see
that's
sausage
why
get made. Like
our
you know?
government gets away with the stuff that they do with the corporations because it's not bad enough to affect our daily lives enough that we're going to do anything about
Well,
it.
that
Right.
and like people have like I can't remember the effect that they've like found in psychology that people generally think that like life is okay and they generally trust a power like
Right.
people they
They're
just
want
assume
to
that
be
they're
told
doing
what to do.
well they also believe that everything is happening for the right reasons you know like
Well-
there's got to be a good reason for this
I think a lot of
If
most of us
that's the
think
way
that
But you make a good point because it doesn't really affect
right
most
day
people.
to day
Like most, like 99% of the population aren't really affected by like a lot
in
of
a
this
way
weird
that's
stuff.
noticeable to them.
Right, or in a way that they feel is enough of an honest for them to be
Right.
like, oh, we gotta fucking stop it.
Right.
now,
like the
bro."
fact that
life's pretty good that's
Right,
why
like, man, I
Because
ate
you don't think
till-
about things like whether you're going to be able to draw your social security when you're
Oh well,
65.
I've already come to the terms I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Right, but a lot
that
of
is a
people don't even-
fucking
But then we're
distant
talk
dream.
about like day to day. I mean, like nobody really thinks about like no one in America really got day to day affected by the fact that Wells Fargo laundered billions of dollars of Mexican drug cartel money. It's like that kind of thing. Like
Right.
that's fucking horrible when you think about it because they're literally. That's why I don't understand the whole thing. Like when
Then they got
rednecks were
bailed
freaking out about like ISIS all the time. Like, oh, they're fucking beheading people and all. I'm like, dude, they do that shit in Mexico every goddamn day.
Oh man, they do it
the same shit
hardcore.
all day, every day in Mexico, and it's
Or the,
below us, and the CIA
Mexico
pays for it.
Not even Mexico, man.
or
Like
the
fucking
British
like
Petroleum basically
right on the
spilled, like,
line. Like
all the oil
Yeah.
in the world into the Gulf of Mexico,
And I can't go
and then
in the
sprayed
water.
toxic chemicals on top of it to get it to sink to the bottom of the ocean.
that was my golf.
It was our
That
golf.
was my
Brett.
golf.
We all lived there.
Yeah, well, it was still my golf.
In the water.
And you know who sprayed those toxic chemicals?
the water.
Planes with National Guard on the side, because British Petroleum like supplies like 90% of the petroleum products to the military. So they freaking basically buy, you know,
I didn't know that.
they
United
basically
States
own.
military.
Yeah, they basically own the United States military
They
because
own
they
it.
fuel that
They
shit,
own
man.
it. But I mean, yeah, like so, we didn't
By
revolt.
proxy.
We didn't
That's what I was
revolt
trying to say.
over it.
Hmm.
Maybe when we see the true effect of it, that might change.
I think obviously we discussed like what has to happen in
The
order.
fuck?
Just mute your phone.
I didn't expect to get 9 messages.
What is
in
this
a row.
newfangled device?
We
You're
discussed
married.
what has to happen in order for change to be affected. Like, you're gonna have to make it impossible for people to buy laws. Purchase laws.
Based Bernie. That's all I'm saying. Except
Right.
I don't
But
really.
you have to make it illegal for lobbyists to completely,
And,
bribe
He really hasn't
politicians
taken
and
money.
make laws.
and put caps on campaign funding.
Yeah.
Hashtag
But
campaign
there is
reform.
one element of
That's what we get from
that's
dystopian
constantly, a positive force is our freedom of speech. I mean, we are in a progressive society, relative to all of history. At this
Relative
point.
to a lot of other countries, relative to a lot of things.
Relative to all fucking humankind before now.
Right.
Like, we can dissent, we can point a finger and say that's bullshit.
Right.
And honestly, the internet has become an amazing tool. Like,
For that.
Exactly.
Right,
how are you going to
because the
stop
internet,
this
why do
army
you
of
need
people?
to spend any money on a campaign? You got a freaking laptop with a camera on it. You
Right.
can put a video on YouTube. You
That
can have
will-
debates on
yeah.
Fox News or CNBC for free because they just
CNBC.
want you there.
MSNBC.
The infamous CNBC.
The infamous CNN.
You don't have to spend any
BC.
money on this stuff these days. They don't need campaign funds. They don't
But that's why
need
that whole thing
donations.
really is like a.
I'm
such a
optimistic.
conundrum
I'm
for me, the whole
optimistic
Bernie
about the
Sanders
better
thing, 'cause
age.
it
Me
really
too.
isn't taking-
I'm a lot more optimistic. I ate a very delicious meal today. I drove my car to work. I got paid a fair wage. I went to my gym and I ran and got in good shape.
Brett, please God, put your fucking privilege away while we're recording. Please.
You got in good shape in one
One
day?
sitting. One sitting.
That's awesome.
Mid-20s, white, no baby.
No baby, dog.
Get the fuck out of
Fucking
here. I just went through
muscles.
like a pretty bad baby scare. So I'm.
Oh yeah, like I've never had a baby scare, Zach.
Serious.
What the
Yeah,
hell?
Fuck.
You never had
son.
it. Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. Your baby scares with the woman you've been with your entire life are totally
Still
the
a
same.
fucking baby scare.
Totally
dude.
the same.
$250,000.
Right, yeah,
after
like
fucking
sure,
life.
I've been with her my whole life. That definitely means we want to have a kid now.
Yeah, I'm not trying to watch my kid get raised by.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm also not trying to kill it.
Right.
All right,
But I
so
will.
We're gonna wrap it up.
Hashtag abortion.
I'm sorry. Hashtag homemade abortions.
Oh no! What? There are
Hashtag-
legal routes.
Hashtag
Morning
I said
after.
me.
Morning
Vacuum.
after.
Done.
Morning after.
No. Hashtag drank too much. Let's pretend to wrestle.
Hashtag
Done
Falcon
it before.
Punch.
Yeah.
Hashtag we are describing how to do a homemade abortion.
We're
Hashtag
officially
we're
done.
fucking awful. Like guys,
Hashtag
come on.
edit this shit out.
No, please
Hashtag it's
don't.
gone too long. Hashtag we're at 2 minutes. Hashtag let's say our goodbyes.
All right.
Peace out.
I think we hit it.
Lives here.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter at A Wolf Lives Here.
Do it.
Or
Go on
Facebook.
Facebook.
Do it
like
now.
our Facebook page.
Do it.
Comment there. Rate us on iTunes. That would be extremely helpful. Nobody knows or has heard of A Wolf Lives Here.
Ever.
And they see our lack of reviews and like, this is a chump cast.
This is a chump cast. That's literally they coined the term for us.
It's really bad.
It was never even a thing
Because
before
nobody
us.
is listening to you say this.
Yeah, they looked at it. They said chump cast. Fucking threw it in the trash. where it
Anybody who
belongs.
got to the
Which
end
is
of this
weird
podcast,
that I even know about it because nobody is talking
Yeah.
about it.
please
Right.
go somewhere
It's
else.
kind of a paradox.
Spend your time doing something more.
Shut up, Joe. This was a good episode, and you know it.
Go to our website, check it out. It's at 8. Oh my god.
Please don't say
www.
www. Please don't say www. It's 2015.
There are plenty of websites that
A
don't
wolf
have
lives here
www
.com.
in front of them.
I don't know any of those websites.
Well, I deal with them.
We're coming up on a minute.
That doesn't count.
It's probably about to cut off any second now.
Internet.
Guys, because
No,
I mean,
it's
I
not
doubt it's
internet.
synced up perfectly.
No, it's John,
It's synced up.
the human metronome,
The human calculator.
Doctor
Dr. Computer himself.
Doctor Metronome.
Guys,
I thought I
really,
had something better.
thank you for those of you who are watching. If you're there,
It's a wolfliveshere.com. Check out
tell
the
your
website.
friends, tell your family. Let your little babies watch this on their iTunes.
Don't do that. Especially if you aborted them.
on their iPhones and
That makes
iPods.
it
On their iTunes and their Zunes.
Yes, as the one person who owned a Zune.
I was a big fan of Zune.
Yeah, me too. I could steal music from everybody.
It's not gonna fucking make it.
Microsoft, they tried.
We're gonna try and do True Detective season 2 soon. That's what I want to do.
Yep.
I want to do it, even if Zach hasn't seen it.
Oh my
Everyone
God.
else has. We'll talk about it. He'll be funny.
I have been trying.
You guys are down. You guys are down.
I'm down. I've been trying to pee.
I'll get picked up.
Me too.
Oh
All right.
my God.
I'll see you
We
guys
out.
later. I'll see you guys later.
Wow.